This episode is, as always, done on the insane difficulty with no death. Everything is in the description, ways to support me. I've got a Discord, Twitter, Twitch, links to directly support. There's a playlist for all of the missions. Welcome to Broken Manticore. This is a penultimate, I believe, mission. Penultimate mission. I think we've got a couple more until the finale. What a great intro. I've really butchered that one. You know what? Let's just roll with it. Let's just keep it. No cuts. You know the rules. So, we've got some moves. We've got some gameplay. I'm going to talk you through exactly how it went. Some tips, some tricks, some ideas. Initially, I have pushed the scout right up. That was the game plan. Push the scout right up. Throw a grenade. Honestly, I've butchered this intro. Sorry, can you tell? Can you tell it's been like 500 hours of working on this video? Listen, this is what happened. We pushed the grenadier right up. We threw it. We threw the grenade. Stotty's coming up to cross, to throw another grenade, to blow the ticker up. The scout then climbed up and cloaked because she didn't want to be shot. She wanted to be unseen, and I wanted to get up there to give me a vantage point, to give me vision of what's up ahead, so this sniper can get in cover and overwatch out, and my support can hide behind this rock. Okay, I think we've just about got through that injury. Is everybody still with us? It's not normally this bad, I promise you. Okay, so we've got the planted grenade going down, which worked pretty well, the proximity grenade. We've got the cloak, we've got the overwatch, we've got the tickers dealt with on the right hand side, and I managed to dodge that shot. And I managed to dodge that shot because, just strafe that one out. Now the planted grenade comes in. The reason was I was thinking this Locust might push up and try shoot down again on Stotty. Wanted to plant a grenade in his foot. And then I wanted to get as far away as possible. I can't get myself in cover, and I couldn't get myself in a sort of safe place, so I just ran myself as far away as possible. And then I thought if somebody goes for a shot, I'll be so far away they probably won't shoot me, or they simply won't hit me. I got overwatched, so I stepped back and I was able to throw a grenade. Now you might think, well, you were in the red, how did you get out? Well, just because you're in the red doesn't technically mean you're in the overwatch. If there's a piece of cover blocking your back and you can step away, you can actually still step out of overwatch, only with taller covers, but that is an idea. So do check that. Just because you're in the red doesn't mean you can't move, and everyone else is just sat up overwatching these areas. Now I'm going to push right up here and go for a grenade. The grenade just can't kill it. I tried everything, but I couldn't get it to kill. The scout that's moved up with its pistol is much more accurate and is able to finish it off. I'm just going to reload, I'm going to chill, and I'm going to re-push up in cover with this scout, as I don't feel like anything's going to go all the way around. So I'm going to move the sniper out. I'm going to try have a crack shot at this guy downed, and well, didn't manage to hit it, just took myself in cover, and this was my mistake. I should have just stayed behind the rock. Putting myself down here just invites basically what you're about to see is he's like, okay, free kill. So I was lucky here because he could have easily shot me. Now he does overwatch and I get away with it, but on that move I would not advise going below this wall. They will hop down that ladder really quick and kill you, so I would not use that wall there. So to try and get myself out of the situation, I'm going to push the scout up, use the execute to give everybody an action point, and I'm able to have a sort of a go at what do I want to do. I throw the proximity grenade again, and I'm able to now go ahead and disable shot with 74%. And I could have chainsawed him, I could have killed him, but I figured, well, I'll reload and I'll snipe him. If I hit it, that's great. I didn't. But if I did manage to hit it, then I would have been able to save this kind of move, wouldn't I? I didn't hit it, so what I did was I empowered the scout up top. So she's got 2 more moves. She peeks out. And that was a mistake. I meant to actually peek out with my shotgun. I peeked out with my pistol. And then I was like, what an idiot. So I cloaked. So that was a mistake. I should have used the shotgun. So what I did now was I pushed Stotty up and I opened fire. And again, I could have used Gabe down there to kill him, but I figured, well, I may as well just use Stotty. He's up there. Get yourself back in cover. And just hide, really. I wanted to tuck myself so now if somebody comes down the stairs, they'll get overwatched, and I have knockback, which will interrupt them. What I didn't want to happen was I didn't just want to walk up, kill this guy on the floor, and then get put in the same situation that just happened with him climbing down the ladder. So I did everything in my power to avoid that. So that means sneaking behind with the scout. Again, I have a 100% crit chance with the passive. Couldn't kill him though, so I just ended up hopping up and chainsawing. And then obviously there's only one guy left, which is downed, so I can now safely execute him. So this was about getting the scout up there, cloaking up, throwing a few early grenades, and really just not overcommitting, because they will climb down that ladder and kill you. The opening to this was rather comfortable, I will admit. As you can see, there's quite a few mistakes here. Often on the game, I always say you get one or two chances to make a mistake. However, with this, it didn't seem that punishing, this section, so we managed to scrape through it. This is where the mission becomes a bit long, and I think if I had, sorry to do a kind of mini review here in the middle of this episode, but if I had to have one complaint about the game, the last couple of missions are kind of obnoxiously difficult on Insane to actually push out and fight and do combos, and the only way you can really play the last couple of missions is really just being patient. And I know that's not the most exhilarating gameplay to watch, but again, we are doing a challenge, we are doing Insane no deaths, and sometimes on a video game, if you're doing something a little bit difficult, tricky, a challenge, you do have to do the quote safe route, you know. It still feels fun to pull it off, and there's still a lot of mini decisions going on, but most of your decisions are going to be based around, can I move and kill everybody? No. Okay, better play safe, better play patient and wait. So you can see that the situations like this, right, I'm pinned, so I push this sniper up to maybe have a shot. So what I should have done right now is, this is just all these moves, I'm kind of like, right, maybe I can push up, disable shot in to remove the pin, maybe I can do a big sniper shot, maybe I can push up and lancer him, do another big pistol shot, try another disabling shot. What I should have done is I should have used the scout to obfuscate the guy that was pinned, like this. I should have cloaked, sorry, or obfuscate, either one would have worked if it wasn't the scout. But yeah, cloak or obfuscate the guy that's pinned, and then you're free to get out. So I actually wasted a ton of moves and a ton of key abilities, such as disable shot, because your disable shot is like your clutch move. You get pinned and you obviously want to get out of the situation, and it's got quite a long cooldown. So yeah, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have wasted all of those. I should have remembered I could cloak. But honestly, there's that many little things in the game. You're trying to keep track of like 20 enemies. Like, look at how many enemies and how many potential moves there are. Often you do sometimes forget like a little thing, so that's why I tried to do these little tips, because maybe something will stick in your head when you're struggling. So I'm able to climb over with this scout, which again gives me nimble, which gives me 3 points, and I'm able to throw a proximity grenade and then a grenade on top. Now on this challenge, on this mission, there's a challenge to kill, I believe it's 9 or 8 enemies in a single turn. I think if you could go around chaining a load of kills, throwing grenades, being a bit more aggressive, it's doable. But on Insane, with no deaths, I think the most I got in one turn was like 3 or 4. It's really obnoxiously difficult, and yeah, I don't recommend going for it. If you can, that's great, but it's not worth risking for a case.
On Overwatch.
So there's a few moves going on in the background, and the reason why I'm not... Normally what I do is I talk over every single move in great detail. There's not a lot of tricks going on here. It's kind of what you see is what you get. I'm just going to be holding this doorway as often as I can, shooting the 1 or 2 enemies that are brave enough to push through. I'm not going to charge in there because frankly there's a ton of angles I can't cover. There's not much rocks, there's not much cover to even protect myself. So the game plan is simply chill in the doorway, let them come to me, whilst this scout tries to do a little bit of damage and flank around, because she's the one that's free to move. She has the cloak to get out of situations, she can pick up nimble, get extra action points. And meanwhile, what I'm going to try to do is, again, little moves like this. I'm going to edge out, I'm going to throw a grenade, and then I'm just going to hide myself back in cover and really take no risks. Again, this is a theme of the end couple of missions of the game, which, apart from obviously like the final boss, but the actual last couple of missions aren't like great in terms of the way they're built, I would say. It's just always kind of like a big open field with a doorway, which obviously isn't the most exhilarating. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up a few kills. When I'm getting pinned by the sniper, I'm cloaking, and then I'm able to just run. Now, you don't want to shoot or use an ability if you don't have the one that lets you use the abilities whilst cloaked, because you're going to get killed. So I'm just moving around, trying to scout out what's going on, tucking myself in corners to protect myself. And what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to potentially get behind these talkboat guys, because that's one of the reasons I'm not moving up. I know I say this a lot, but honestly, if you've played this game on Insane and you've dealt with double talkbows and snipers, you can't just run in there. They will find you, and even when you think you're safe, they'll walk, and then the animation in the cutscene will play, and you'll be like, he's not going to flick me from there, is he? And he does. So this is why I'm so far back, because there's talkboats. And what I'm doing is, when possible, I'm taking pot shots at enemies, and sometimes I hit them like that, and sometimes I don't, like this. But I'm just taking the shots whilst I can, and then I'm retreating to safety. Again, I'm going to edge out with Stotty. I've got 3 action points, which means you can edge out, you can have a freebie shot. If it kills it, wonderful. If it doesn't, you can tuck back in. Meanwhile, the scout is kind of sneaking around, trying to do her bidding. So she can go here and collect this crate, which means we can have an extra point from nimble, which is fantastic. I can throw a proximity mine, which is going to slow the game down. That means it's not going to be able to just push and kill me, so that's another thing taken care of. And now I'm going to hide. This is like the only sketchy part, because I was like, oh, it could kill me because I don't have cloak on this turn, but I did have a proximity mine on the Theron, so I was like, oh, maybe I'm okay. This is where things got a bit hectic. I didn't actually overwatch the doorway, which was kind of a mistake, and a locust slipped through and got behind me. Luckily he didn't shoot, he overwatched. You can see there that the planted thrown grenade worked. And now it's kind of looking for me, and I was like, oh god, it's not going to kill me. Okay. Luckily it didn't. So I took my opportunity and I pushed up with the shotgun. I did this for 2 reasons. I knew the accuracy was going to be pretty high from point blank, and I have the passive, which means I'm going to crit. So although I didn't have the damage to technically kill it, I knew it would crit. Therefore I could kill it. I empowered her and then executed. Now she has the spare ability to cloak. That's great. Picked up the talkbow first. You might think, why? You've only got 1 ability. Because I have nimble, which meant I can nimble first, get the talkbow, and then cloak. Even though I only had 1 action point. That's the power of nimble. Stotty's going to push out and again shoot this doorway and then retreat. And obviously I need to deal with this guy behind me that's kind of snuck in. So I just kind of flanked him with a chainsaw. Again, another thing is, why didn't I throw a grenade at him? Why did I chainsaw? Because it's going to give extra action points and it helps everybody out. And then I can use the grenade on the front door and use my last action point just to hide. Now I'm like, oh, I can move over here. Can I see anyone? And I had a couple shots. They were like 10% chances that just kept missing. And I just decided just to use all my bullets on the 10% shot chance. I didn't really get anything. And as a result, I just overwatched the gateway. Okay, so we're beginning to thin the enemies, and do note that there's only a set amount of enemies. If you look in the top left, there's only 4 left and no more arrived. So now I've got a pretty good position. I've got behind them, and I've got the torque bow, and I've got the doorway. So I'm going to reload here, have a look at any shots. There was actually no target, so I wasn't kind of sure. Edged out, there was no target again, and then I hid. Not the greatest turn there. Kind of messed up. I just kind of hid everybody behind the block. This is where I got lucky. Really lucky. Again, I probably should have dealt with that situation better. Probably, again, should have used the scout maybe to throw a grenade and stun it. Done an overwatch. Planted some grenades and ran. I just kind of let the torque bow walk in there, which was a bit poor. But we got away with it. So after some deliberation, there was 4 enemies remaining. I wanted to kill the torque bow in 1 shot, which meant, okay, I'm going to chainsaw it. That's that threat dealt with. Now we've got 3 enemies remaining. How are we going to deal with this? Okay, I'm going to bring the sniper up here and have a look. That's a 61% chance, and he missed it, which is unfortunate. And I was like, well, I could reload or I could pistol. And the reason I pistol is because I was like, if I hit it, then I can then torque bow it and kill it. I couldn't actually do that, so I decided to go ahead and just reload Stotty. Kind of maybe have a look at overwatching the doorway, playing safe again. Then I was like, well, I'll fire off a couple torque bows here. And you'll note what I did was I fired the torque bow off on the sniper and not the grenadier. The reason is if I'd have shot it on the grenadier, he'd have gone to half HP and been berserk, and then he would have, you see how far he can walk now? He would have walked even further and probably killed my team. So be careful when enraging those shotgunners. Now he's kind of actually in a good spot. Because I didn't enrage him and he could only walk so far, he's stuck in the middle and I'm raining down sniper shots at him. And now I'm going to come out of cloak, lob this torque bow down in Gears Auto 1 fashion. And then I'm like, okay, what can I do? Well, I'm going to kill this guy. I feel like safer killing this guy because he could climb up the ladder and kill me. And then I was like, oh, I've got a grenade, which is wonderful because I didn't realise I had a grenade. I was going to cloak and try some other moves, but then I was like, wait, I've actually dealt with everybody. And that's kind of how it went. I had the scout sneak around using cloak and these held the doorway. Hopefully that helped. We'll see you in the next one. Leave a comment and like if it did. We've got 2 more missions to go. Really hope you've enjoyed this series. We're getting there. We're getting there.